And he's just watching. Creepy. When a Japanese fox demon appears next to him, and he already knows what it is. I understand you're a vampire dude, and I understand werewolves, but why do you know what a Japanese fox demon is? I highly doubt you were studying for the past 100 years. Sounded more like you were, I don't know, meeting girls and then killing them. But anyway, let's forget that nonsense and move right along. So, Japanese fox demon, Damon's evil, makes a deal with them that they can destroy Mystic Falls, but as long as he and his, quote, girl I am mad at this iPod, it keeps cutting, but let's move right along before it cuts again. So, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, apparently part of Damon's deal is that Stefan be taken away to some other dimension. You don't know that yet. Well, we discovered this. Oh, and did I mention that Damon early on steals a video camera, and he's on and off possessed, leading to one of the creepiest sequences ever. Basically, it's if you combined the Joker from The Killing Joke with a vampire. Yeah, it's not going to turn out well, leading to Matt being in the trunk of a car and Elena being fed on, but we'll get into that later. Well, Elena gets amnesia, or probably not later, and after she falls out of a car, Damon doesn't remember anything that happened. Somehow they're in some house, you have no idea where. Honestly, I started getting lost at this point. And they get drunk on wine. Apparently, Elena drinking bottles of beer early on, not getting drunk, and drinking one glass of wine gets her drunk now. And the vampire, too. Yeah. Same vampire we saw drinking bottles of whiskey without getting drunk. So, let's forget that logic. So, they're drunk, Damon gives Elena a massage, then they both sort of remember what happened. Well, then Damon reveals that the key to demons, apparently, is there's a magical door you can walk through, blah blah blah, things get weird, magical snow globe, Elena saves Damon, and Damon remembers nothing but Stefan's whereabouts. Next book. Sorry, I'm rushing. Next book, basically, all that happens is Elena, Bonnie, and Meredith have to tag along to save Stefan with Damon in this place called the Dark Dimension. Yes, there's a dimension called the Dark Dimension, where humans are slaves to vampires. Yeah, I know, that's kind of a lame idea, but still. And everything's weird, leads to Elena getting drunk again. Seeing a pattern forming at this point. She gets drunk and then lets them fight her. I don't know why. She's weird. And this was originally in the 90s. But anyway. That's basically all that happens. They save Stefan. But then at the very end, Damon takes a magical black rose that turns him into a human. That's right. A human. And of course he's ticked about it. And so is Stefan. Because it was for Stefan. But then, in the next book, things get weirder, because we start out Damon going to the Dark Dimension with Elena, no, not Elena, with Bonnie, blah blah blah. Oh, Bonnie almost gets sold off as a slave thanks to Damon's idiocy, and what else? Let's see. They figure out that the only way to stop demon children is to put post-its on their foreheads with writing on it. That's right, post-its. This is the equivalent of Eraser Man and Batman. You know someone was staring at office supplies when they came up with this idea. But then, I don't know the details. So then, they figure out the only way to stop the demon is to go to this magical tree. Okay, let me work this out for you before time runs out. They go into a dimension, then they go into another dimension, then a third dimension, where they find a magical tree that kills vampires, where there's an orb that will stop this demon, and the other fox demon offs himself. Don't ask, that's weird. And before this cuts, I will continue. So then, after that, Sorry, another mess up on this stupid thing. This is gotta be like the worst review ever, but I apologize for that. And I'm probably meaner than I will ever be. Whatever, you get annoyed when you're tied up by Harley Quinn. So then, anyway, where was I? Oh yes, so they're in this dimension. Yeah, there's like magical stories, fox demons. I feel bad for Matt and insert name here, whoever else was in Mystic Falls. I think it was like an old witch lady or something. And they're fighting these demon children alone. They're like the only people who don't have hardly any magical powers, and you're leaving them in charge of a small town with demon children who can only be stopped by Post-its. Their house is covered with Post-its. I mean, like, you start to think they're crazy people, you know? Like, seriously. But anyway, back to our magical tree. So they're approaching this magical tree that kills vampires. On top of it is a magical orb that can stop this big demon. Yeah, the fox demon shows up, and apparently because he regrets something, he explodes. That's it. 3 books of fighting this thing, and all you gotta do is make it regret something. What a lame way to go out. But anyway, so they approach this tree, and this is why you never take Bonnie on a trip. She's pointless. She just sits there and whines. And, ooh, you'll see why I hate her in a minute, because Damon's my favorite character, but Damon jumps in front of her before she could get staked, and he gets staked. And this is not a quick little death scene. No, this death lasts 50 pages. I was crying by the end of it. No joke. And of course, Elena makes it worse. All you had to do was like let him go so he could die peacefully. No, she had to drag out the pain for like, I don't know. It seems like 2 hours, but it's probably only 10 minutes. So then, I'm ticked. I'm ticked at Bonnie at this point. All she's good for is almost dying. I don't blame them for not leaving her in that town, but I mean, at least it'd be a lot easier than killing off one of my favorite characters. Heck, I even like Damon a lot better than I like Elena at this point. Now he's dead? And they just leave him there? What the heck? But then they destroy the orb. Elena uses her magical abilities to destroy the tree. Why she didn't do that earlier, I have no idea. Maybe she didn't like Damon. And so, they are magically transported to the Celestial Court, the Blonde Celestial Court, might I add, which is basically their word for heaven. Well, Elena gets ticked because they can't bring Damon back to life and tries to destroy heaven. Who destroys heaven? Is that like the worst thing you can do? Ugh. Anyway, after Elena's idiocy, they rip her of her magical powers. I don't blame them. Why would they give that to a human in the first place? I have no idea. Human with vampires, even dumber idea. But anyway, they go back home, they make all their lives normal, except Damon's still dead. Nobody remembers anything except them, and Elena's as if she was still alive and human, might I add. Yeah. So, basically it's a restart button. But we have one more book to review, and we don't have a lot of time for it. So basically, everything's normal. Yeah, that's a good first half of it. And Damon's brought back to life, and he uses a magical door that was apparently in the same place as this tree to go right back to Earth. That's right, there was a door. You didn't have to go through 4 dimensions and almost die. You could have just taken the door. So Damon gets back home, and they find out very quickly that there's a jealousy phantom that's trying to kill everyone. A jealousy phantom. We go a step up from fox demons and celestial court of blonde people to a jealousy phantom that can be stopped by admitting your jealousies. And might I add, though, as they're admitting their jealousies, when it's Bonnie's turn, she doesn't know when to shut up. She goes on for like 50, I wouldn't say 50, like a good 20 pages or so, probably. Maybe not even that much, but it seemed like it. She would not